Day to viewers, the Colonel speaking to you live from the Grange for British Imperial YouTube Broadcasting, and as you probably know, I was banned from the third Roger Thorne sale, but that didn't stop me buying, and one of the lots I bought was the Decca Records, and you'll see in your catalogue this one mentioned here, Raid Precautions, instructional record. That's actually side 2, we don't want to play that, do we viewers? Not just yet. This is side 1, how to deal with incendiary bombs, preparation. Now here's the sleeve. This is very interesting indeed. There you go. Well, it should say ARP instructional record. Dealing with incendiary bombs. Please take great care of this record. It has a lot of work to do. N-Go-B 32 St John's Road, Burnham-on-Sea, in Somerset, near where dear Alistair lives. How extraordinary. Here's the record, and if you think, viewers, or you are reminded of the sketch that Harry Enfield used to do with Grayson and Mr. Cholmndely Warner, then I would not be surprised. Here we go.
I suppose most of us are rather worried at the thought of air raids. We all hope for the best, of course, but at the same time we ought to prepare for the worst. You were telling me just now, Mr. Expert, that you had actual experience of incendiary or firebomb.
That's right. And believe me, if only you know what to do, they are not half so terrifying as you might think. The first thing I want you to realize is this. The most likely bombs to be used are the incendiaries. You see, one large bomber can carry as many as 2,000 of these bombs. Mind you, most of them will fall where they do no damage. But even so, in a heavy attack, there will probably be more fires caused than even the thousands of trained regular and auxiliary firemen can attend to in time. Besides, if you tackle an incendiary bomb immediately, you can usually restrict the fire to one room.
What are these incendiary bombs like?
I was just coming to that. Well, they're quite small. As a rule, they weigh about a couple of pounds, and are about the same size as a largish hand torch. You know, one of those long cylinder-shaped ones. Now, although they're called bombs, I want you to remember this. They do not explode. But if one does strike the roof, it'll almost certainly penetrate and land in one of the top floor rooms.
And what happens then?
It bursts into flame and burns like fury. For about a minute, you mustn't attempt to get near it, because it shoots out hundreds of sparks of molten metal, which may set light to whatever they fall on. The heat is terrific. After a minute or two, though, it sort of settles down to burn fiercely, but more locally, as it were.
So what's the first thing we ought to do, then?
The first and most important thing is to be prepared. Clear the loft or roof space completely. If it's boarded and is strong enough, cover the floor with asbestos or sand. Your warden will gladly advise you on this question of protection. Now for your firefighting equipment. There are two methods which can be adopted, the water method and the sand method. Let's take the water method first. This depends on your having a pump, either one of the officially recommended stirrup pumps, or else one of the similar hand pumps now on the market. Make absolutely sure that the nozzle on the hose of the pump is fitted with both a spray and a jet device. One of these pumps, a couple of pails of water, and a small tub or foot bath kept permanently filled in reserve, and you are well equipped to deal with the firebomb.
Wouldn't a garden hose do the trick?
Yes and no. It's quite effective if it has a very fine spray attachment on the nozzle, but, and this is a very important but, you may find a hose quite useless on account of lack of water pressure. You see, the firefighting services will be using such a volume of water that the domestic supplies will be severely curtailed during the period of a raid.
And supposing we haven't got a pump?
Then you have to adopt the sand method. This requires water just the same. But instead of using the pump for dealing with the bomb, you use sand. Dry sand. You want one bucket full and a Red Hill container about half full. If you haven't got a Red Hill container, another bucket about half full of dry sand will serve fairly well. In addition to the sand, you should have a long-handled scoop and hoe. Specially designed ones are available, But failing these, it's a good idea to make yourself a scoop by fixing a shovel firmly on the end of a pole 5 or 6 feet long. As far as the hoe is concerned, an ordinary garden hoe or rake is quite effective.
I suppose we ought to keep these things indoors.
Certainly. For one thing, it's essential that the sand is perfectly dry. And besides that, your firefighting equipment must be handy. Put it in the bathroom or the spare room in the ordinary way. Then, when there's an air raid warning, have it ready, say, on the landing upstairs. Oh, and there's another very important point. Before you settle down in your shelter or refuge room, shut all the doors and windows. A closed door will often keep a fire in check for hours. And lastly, to complete your outfit, you can do with a pair of dark glass goggles to protect your eyes. Glass, mind you, not some inflammable material. Also, an electric torch. So much for your preparations. But remember, to be prepared is half the battle. The chances are you'll never have to tackle an incendiary bomb. But if one does arrive, you're all ready to deal with it. Like this.
Right, we go on to the other side to find out how to deal with it. It's most interesting. And historic. Here we go.
Obviously, the first thing to do when you think you've heard an incendiary bomb hit the house is to locate it. At the same time, somebody should turn the gas off at the meter. You can switch off the electricity too if you wish, but that's not so important. Then go upstairs very cautiously to the top floor. Noise and smoke will soon show you into which room the bomb has fallen. When you've discovered where it is, open the door very carefully, just 3 or 4 inches.
Why only 3 or 4 inches?
For 2 reasons. First, there might be an overpowering rush of hot gases. And second, a wide open door allows unlimited air to feed the fire. So you open the door only just sufficiently to see where the bomb is. Then shut the door quickly again. Now for action. Let's suppose you have a pump. Make sure there's plenty of water handy and see that there is someone to work the pump. Don't rush. Keep calm and make your final preparations coolly. There's no hurry because you mustn't approach the bomb for at least 1 minute after it's fallen. That's important. Do not attempt to tackle the bomb until at least 1 minute after it's fallen. Right. Now the next step. Your pump is ready. You open the door, again very cautiously, and direct a jet of water onto the burning furniture, etc.
You suggest we deal with the furnishings first, then?
Yes. The fires caused by the flying sparks of molten metal can soon be extinguished, and for this purpose, use a jet or stream of water. But whatever you do, don't let the jet of water get near the bomb. Before you tackle the bomb, be sure you turn the device on the nozzle of the hose so that the spray is in action.
The spray? Why is that?
Well, a jet or stream of water will break up the bomb, and it might well injure one of the firefighters. The effect of the spray is to make the bomb burn more fiercely than ever. And if it's the usual 2-pound bomb, it will burn itself right out in 2 or 3 minutes. You spray the bomb then until it's exhausted itself and nothing more is left.
And after that we deal with any fires that may have sprung up again.
Exactly. Now for the sand method. This is the method to adopt when you haven't got a pump. Once again you start by throwing water onto the burning furniture, etc. And once again I must remind you to keep this water away from the bomb. The bomb needs either the spray, as I've already described, or else sand. Dry sand. Scoop some sand from your full bucket and pour it onto the bomb so that it's smothered. Now this is perhaps the most difficult part of the job, for the heat is intense.
Do you think we'll be able to stand it?
Oh, I think so. But you won't be able to stand it unless you get down on the floor. Whether you're using water or sand, always get down on the floor. In fact, you may find it best to lie flat. In any case, keep down. It's always cooler. And by the way, don't use your gas mask against the smoke. The ordinary gas mask is not intended for protecting you against smoke.
I see. And when we've smothered the bomb with sand...
Then comes the job of collecting it. This is where the hoe or rake comes in. You carefully work the bomb and its covering of sand onto the scoop. When it's safely lodged there, you lift it into the Red Hill container or bucket half full of sand, whichever you're using. Then give it a final smothering with sand and carry it outside to burn itself away harmlessly. While you're attending to the bomb, keep an eye on the rest of the room. If possible, have someone ready to soak anything that flares up. The ceiling and roof space particularly need careful watching, in case they've caught light as the bomb fell through.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Expert. I don't feel half so worried about incendiary bombs now.
Good. Remember, be prepared, keep calm, and make sure everybody in the household knows exactly what to do. Never pour a stream of water onto a bomb from buckets or cans. Make sure your sand is dry, and always keep down on the floor to save yourself from the worst of the heat and smoke. Follow the instructions I've given you, and you'll be able to tackle incendiary bombs with confidence, and so do your bit in this very important part of civil defense.
How true, viewers. I hope you're paying attention. What a super record, and as I say, somewhat reminiscent of the Grayson, Cholmndely, Warner sketches from Harry Enfield. Thank you, viewers, and goodbye.